they're pretty common objects. They're not anything what we might call heroic. And heroic subject matter is, and we get that term back again from the Greeks, okay, and from the academy, where you study, you made drawings from what? Do you remember what I said you made drawings from? Anybody? What did the Greeks do that created an idealistic subject? Right. What was the manifestation of those mathematical studies?
Body.
Human figure. Yeah. Okay, so that's what all those old sculptures are. Those classical Greek sculptures. And when we first started to study figure drawing at the academy in Europe, it was not such a scandal to have nude figure models. Those sculptures were not clothed. Well, how about those oak leaves that cover the men's genitals? You know where they came from? The church, Catholic Church. The Pope said, cover those genitals. So they tried to remove, they were plastered on with concrete. Yeah. You know what happens when they try to remove them? They break the penis off. Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of sculptures, if the genitals are broken or missing, it's not because somebody went around and whacked them all off. It's because removing those little oak clusters, yes, broke the sculpture, broke the bottom. All right. So we have our setup, and all of that is regarded as a landscape metaphor. Okay. What were our subjects the last time? Shoes, okay. Man-made, okay, artificial. All right, so today we're going to switch, and this would be called natural. Mother Nature. Okay. So, Mother Nature is also, each individual shoe was regular, symmetrical, okay, and there was some perfection to that. Okay, and nothing was random about those except our overall arrangement. Okay, so we had symmetry and regularity. Okay, we're going to talk about 3 kinds of balance. Have you done that in your 2-dimensional design class yet? Okay, 3 ways of balancing a composition. And if you look at your compositions on the wall, almost every single one of them is a certain kind of balance. Okay, it is all balance is equal eye attraction. Okay, if you were to arrange all of your subject on one side of your composition, that would be imbalance. Your job is to arrange things within your composition so that we have equal eye attraction throughout the entire composition, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean equal distribution of stuff, because you can see that there is a random arrangement to your compositions, as there was a random arrangement to our still life. Okay? So, if everything were perfectly centered, okay, everything were arranged in the center, that would be called symmetry. Or if you divided your paper in half and you had an equal amount of stuff on both sides, almost like a mirror image of itself, near identical, that would be called symmetry. Some people also refer to this as formal balance. Okay? And very easy to identify. Take a look at the drawing 2 word of their on the wall. Okay? Look at the composition below of the tree. See how it's centered? See how there's almost identical distribution on either side. Why do we do this as human beings? Why does that make our brain satisfied when we see that symmetry? Any idea? We have a natural affinity for that because what are our bodies? What are our brains? Symmetrical. Yes? We have two halves to our brain, two lobes to our lungs. Okay? We have just about equal distribution. We have two legs, two arms, two eyes, two nostrils. Okay? So we have the most affinity for that. And it is one of the most easily identified forms of compositional balance. Okay. Doesn't make it the most interesting. It's easy to perceive. Might be a little boring. Doesn't have to be. It's up to the artist. Okay? The next kind of balance, and the kind of balance that we most use up here on the wall, is called asymmetrical. That's not imbalance, but that is not equal stuff, not equal parts and pieces to the composition. Okay? Not equal subject, but it is equal eye attraction. That's what you're looking for. You need equal eye attraction with symmetry, equal eye attraction with asymmetry. Sometimes called informal balance. So you may have an instructor that calls it one or the other. Okay? And asymmetry is a lot more interesting than symmetry. Did you see? You all chose asymmetrical. Why? Because I kind of forced that on you with the compositional setup. And that's what I want you to have, is asymmetrical balance with all of your work. It's more challenging, it's more interesting. Okay? So it's equal eye attraction. If you've got something heavy over here and then nothing else over here, that's not to move to the other part. So you must have something over here that attracts your eye, creates a visual relationship. Lots of different ways to do that, but I'm going to let that up to your design teachers to go into that into detail. But that's what we're going to talk about today, and that's what we're going to draw for our in-class drawings. We're going to draw nature or natural, which is not regular, so we would call that irregular. Okay, unpredictable, random. Let me show you how you might arrange this with your tape. Brian, is it okay if I use your stones? Okay. All right, so you want to get comfortable with your paper. Come on over here so you can see what I'm doing. You want to get comfortable with your paper. And I'm going to set this up so that if you want to hold this on your lap or you're sitting, you can do that. All I care about is that you are at the same level with your subject. Okay? So we can scoot him over to, we can put his handle at the top. So we can turn this around so this is at the top if he wants to. It's up to him to rearrange this when I'm finished. You can scoot your, I like these extra big drawing boards for this reason, because over here we can set up his subject. So he's going to be sitting looking at this. And he's going to make this arrangement in whatever way he wants, so that he's going to be putting this directly over top of where he's going to draw his arrangement and take little bits of torn tape and tape it to the board, okay, and tape your viewfinder to the subject, okay? And you're just going to use pieces of tape like this, and with your pine cones, how do you suppose you're going to do this?
Roll it.
So again,
Roll the tape.
yeah, we call them tape donuts. Yeah, okay. So you can either do a tape donut, and with your corn, you can take this whole sucker to your board, okay? Say you're going to do, that's going to be your subject right there, okay? So you can take the whole piece of corn, tape it to your board, yeah, and then tape donut this to your corn, okay? So what we're doing is Mother Nature, but we're kind of magnifying into the less identifiable parts, okay? From our outside of class assignment, how did we decide that making it unidentifiable helps? Right, you don't have that stereotype in your head. In your left brain, it isn't dictating to you how you're going to draw it. You've got a lot of baggage in your heads that you brought with you through school and life that tells you what a comic corn should look like, not what you actually see. Your right brain is going to tell you what you're actually looking at here. And you want to get this close, right, so you can see exactly right up on it, okay? And you want to get a nice balanced composition in through there too. So you're going to take this to the board, just little bits of tape like this to hold it down. Should work. Okay. All right, so tape donuts, little pieces of tape. Okay, thank you, Brian. All right. Now I'm going to grab an example of a couple of drawings, and I'm going to put one up on the wall so you can see somebody drew, I think, the trumpet vine, and then I have a couple of images out of the drawing text, the beginning students who did pine cones, etc. Okay? So I'm going to work my way over here. Dominant and subordinate. And I'm going to leave these out on the tables so you can take a picture with your cell phone to have these great examples with you in your drawings. So you guessed it, your next out of class assignment is going to be dominant and subordinate line. So I think we started that last class. Here is, wow, dominant and subordinate. Okay, I think this is like part of a sunflower. Here is another example of organic subject matter, dominant and subordinate, and you get to decide what's going to be dominant, what's going to be subordinate. In the end, we want to recognize that that's a leaf, part of a pine cone, part of a pod, a seed pod. We don't want the composition just like 5 lines. Nobody's going to know what that is. Remember, you're always shooting for an end result that is what?
Identifiable.
Identifiable. Did you say something?
No,
Okay.
I was just
You did.
I said the same thing she did.
Okay, great. Yes, identifiable, recognizable, realistic. We can tell what it is. You're going to be looking at the little abstract shapes. You're going to be involved in the details and the minutia, in the shapes, within the shapes, line to connecting line. Okay, abstract shapes. Okay, so here is a trumpet vine, and I'll put this up on the wall. May I get you to hold this up? Thank you. And let me show you the part that is magnified. You see these little kind of trumpet-shaped flower pod openings? So the bean is kind of missing here, and what you're seeing is this part. Look at how enlarged, here it is, I'm sorry. When I brought these in, they were still fresh from the vine. That's right, these are the flower parts. These are the flower parts. These little parts right here, I don't know what to call them. Anybody a biology major? Anybody know what you would call that part? Maybe it's part of the stem, okay, in the transition to the pod or the transition to the flower. But here, that's where these are. Look at the unifying characteristic of the integration of the dominant and the subordinate line, okay? So it isn't as predictable as, oh, the outside, the exterior contour is all going to be dominant, and all of the, what are the lines called? Inside. Interior contour are all going to be subordinate. Remember, there's shadows, there's subtle change in lightness and darkness, okay? So we're not going to blacken it in or try and create the value. We're just doing the contours and the edges of those abstract shapes, okay? Look at all these shapes and things in here, okay? Okay? So I'm going to pin that up in the wall as an example, and you see the scale that you're going to draw, yeah? Okay? Questions before we begin? Okay, y'all go get comfortable, set up your subject matter